Liverpool be planning a double swoop for Bayern Munich duo Leroy Sane and Jamal Musiala? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Yes, the rumour mill has been swirling these past few days in regards to Liverpool Football Club and maybe their future plans in regards to how transfers may go, with reports seemingly suggesting that Liverpool are monitoring both Leroy Sane and Jamal Musiala of Bayern Munich. Now, Sane, this news has all sprung about because Saudi Arabia seemingly are not going away from a certain Mohamed Salah, and Liverpool might be preparing for the worst case scenario just in case Salah has his head turned by Saudi Arabia and does want to go there either in January or next summer. Whilst for Musiala, the overall suggestion from certain members of the media seemingly suggests that with his contract talks stalling at Bayern Munich and with his contract up in 2026, maybe there is cause for concern there for Bayern, and maybe there is a deal to be done when it comes to the young 20-year-old player. We're going to be talking about these two players and how they may fit in Liverpool and why these things may be taken with a pinch of salt when obviously you talk about these transfer stories. Without further ado, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and forever be greatly appreciated. Also, get involved in the comment section as well. Would love to hear from you all in regards to these stories as well. I'm sure we have a lot of interesting thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. That'll make for great and interesting reading, so do get involved down there. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's talk Jamal Musiala, let's talk Leroy Sane, and possible moves transpiring in the future to Liverpool. Now, let me just say first and foremost, we'll talk about Sane first, because Sane, actually no, we'll talk about Musiala first, because Musiala is kind of the newest one, and the one that I kind of have big reservations about. Look, Musiala, I have no doubt Liverpool are interested. Christian Falk came out yesterday and it ignited this whole story. He came out yesterday and said that Liverpool are interested in Jamal Musiala at Bayern Munich. His agents are currently not talking to the club about extending his contract till 2026 with the German club. That was what he basically took to X, formerly known as Twitter, to say. I instantly read that and I thought, okay, so Liverpool are interested in Jamal Musiala. I imagine a lot of clubs are also interested in Musiala. I don't think it's just Liverpool. I don't think Liverpool have stumbled across a hidden gem here. Like, everybody knows about Musiala. Everybody knows how good he is. Everyone knows the enormous potential he has. Everybody knows that he's basically put in the same bracket of incredible youngsters such as a Jude Bellingham, for example. And that's where my comparison draws. This guy is incredibly talented. This guy, when you look at his stats, big game player, key moments he's been involved with Bayern, and obviously what he brings to the table in terms of skill set and attributes. I can't imagine Liverpool are the only team that's going to be interested in him, right? Because everyone else would be stupid to miss out on such a potential big bargain and a big deal like this. And lo and behold, of course, Fabrizio Romano has come out today to clarify what Christian Falk followed up with. He said that yes, Liverpool are interested, but guess what? So are a lot of other teams, the likes of Chelsea and Manchester City, as well as the usual clubs in Spain, are interested in signing Musiala from Bayern should it get to that point. But he also went on to say that the only reason why Musiala and his people are not in talks and of negotiations with Bayern so far is because, of course, there's been a lot of change at Bayern Munich in recent months and obviously across the year, which has seen obviously a lot of change behind the scenes, a lot of change with the people in power. Obviously, people have left the club and there's been a new regime being put in place. That has obviously seen things be put on the back burner a little bit, such as contract talks to the likes of Musiala. Leroy Sane also fits in with that bracket. Alphonso Davies also fits in with that bracket of players that are seemingly being talked about as being given new contracts, but of course only time will tell on that. Musiala at 20 years of age, representing obviously huge potential and obviously huge excitement, would obviously be someone of a person of interest, shall we say, that Bayern should be looking at keeping hold of, and probably will when the time comes. But with 2.5 years, if a little bit more than 2.5 years left on his contract, there doesn't seem to be a great deal of rush right now to obviously get that deal done and dusted as soon as possible. So Romano's basically come out and clarified that, and like I say, I fully expected that to happen. I didn't think Liverpool were going to be the only club interested in Musiala. I didn't think that obviously this was a nailed on thing. This was definitely going to happen, because when I thought about this story, I instantly had flashbacks of what happened with Jude Bellingham and how we were chasing him for about a couple of years, and of course nothing happened that was significant in terms of a breakthrough in negotiations that Liverpool and FSG were hoping for. I can't see the same thing happen with Musiala. Now, of course, Liverpool have shown to have money in the past, but it's about whether or not we can get this club back on track. And obviously in 2026, that is seemingly going to be the year that Jurgen Klopp is going to leave Liverpool. So there might still be some things that are going to be up in the air at that point. Will Musiala see out the rest of his deal? Will he sign a new contract? Will he leave Bayern Munich? Will Bayern Munich decide to cash in on him if they feel like they won't be able to tie him down to a new deal? There are a lot of things that might be open to this story, but one thing is for certain, we won't probably be getting an answer to this story so far. Like I say, I worry that with a guy with such big potential, a guy with such excitement surrounding him, a guy that can offer a lot to the team, I do fear that obviously another club's going to be in for him, and if Liverpool can't stabilise between now and then, it'll be interesting to see what happens in regards to this potential deal. For me, I think he signs a new deal at Bayern. I don't think he's got really a reason to leave the club unless he feels like he wants a new challenge. But I like this guy. I really do. I've seen a fair amount of him, whether it be in the Bundesliga or whether it be in the Champions League. I like what this guy brings. I like his versatility as much as anything. I like how he can be an attacking midfielder, but also can be in a double pivot in a midfield. I like how he can play out wide to a certain extent. I like his passing. I like his movement. I like his defensive attributes and output as well. As his obviously attacking ones. He can break the line with runs from deep. He can break the line by being confident with the ball at his feet. His passing is creative. His passing is on another level. He can beat a player. He's got all the tools to make for a brilliant all-round midfielder. Yes, he's still a little rough around the edges, and obviously can grow even more so. But guess what? That is the beauty of being a 20-year-old midfielder. You're not going to be the finished article or the most perfect article as of right now. You have still got a lot of work ahead of you, and obviously that work can be or that potential, should I say, can be discovered and can be reached with age and experience. He is an incredible player for the here and now, but he can be an even bigger and better player, if that is to be believed, in the future, in the coming years to come. Like I say, that's why many people put him in the same bracket as a Jude Bellingham, who many people see as an outstanding and incredible talent for a player of his age. You look at his stats for Bayern. He's played 133 times for the senior squad, scoring 32 goals and assisting 25 times. Not bad for a player of his age. And of course, again, those stats may only get bigger and better with age and experience. He's truly an incredible talent. like I say, whether or not a move transpires or not remains to be seen. I think he'll stay at Bayern, but obviously stranger things are happening. It really depends on his future and whether he wants a new challenge from the Bundesliga, whether he wants to go back to England and test himself. Of course, he was a member of the Chelsea Academy, of course. Played for the Chelsea under-18s for a few times before being snapped up by Bayern. So, we shall see. We shall see on Musiala, but that is certainly one to keep your eye on. But like I say, don't be driven in too much by the Liverpool propaganda on this one. Like I say, I imagine Liverpool are interested, as Romano backs up Christian Falk's story that broke this. They are interested. I just wouldn't buy too much into the story just yet of how interested they are, whether or not a move can materialise, how much is that going to happen for the future. Now, as far as what Leroy Sane goes, this one I feel like might have more legs to it. Of course, what has obviously set up this story happening is the fact that Mohamed Salah might be on his way out of Liverpool. Now, the story goes that obviously Saudi Arabia came in for him in the summer. Liverpool managed to withstand and hold off the interest from the ever-growing Saudi Arabian presence that obviously was taking over that transfer window and doesn't look like it's going to be slowing down anytime soon. The overall consensus is that Saudi Arabia won't give up on Salah that easily. They will come back in for him in the coming transfer windows to come, maybe as early as the winter one. Definitely, seemingly, will be back in the summer if things are to continue to materialise for them over in their league. And with that obviously leaves a massive void that Liverpool need to fill. Now, of course, when you have these kinds of stories, the media will look at suitable replacements, and none seem more suitable than Leroy Sane. Now, I like Leroy Sane at Manchester City. I was a bit surprised when Pep Guardiola got rid of him and obviously sold him to Bayern Munich. But I think the reasoning was somewhat of the reason that he was young, rough around the edges, a little green. Didn't really think he would mould into his particular image. But what about Liverpool's image? Now, it does seemingly fit. He's predominantly a right winger, but again, he has versatility that can see him play on the left wing as a more traditional left winger. A left-footed player on the left wing is a rarity nowadays. But of course, he does have that potential in his locker. He can play as a striker. He can play anywhere across that forward line. But right wing is predominantly where he's at. He's lightning quick. Got a powerful left foot on him. Good link-up play from time to time. 27 years of age, so he does fit perfectly within the age bracket of a sort of winger. Just about entering his prime, shall we say. There's a lot to his game than that, and it just seemingly it is seemingly maybe not on Salah's consistency level, but it does seemingly fit in with a good or good enough, shall we say, replacement for the Egyptian king. When you look at Sane's Bayern Munich stats, he's played 144 times for Bayern Munich, scoring 45 goals and assisting 37 times. In comparison to when he was in England with Manchester City, he played 135 times for Manchester City, scoring 39 goals and assisting 46 times. So, slightly similar stats in terms of that aspect. He's obviously played 9 more games so far for Bayern Munich than he has at City, and obviously those stats are only going to grow. And he's had a pretty good start to the season. I think he scored like 7 goals in 11 appearances for Bayern Munich across all competitions to start this season off. So he's had a pretty good start. And again, it's not perfect. If this move is to materialise, obviously for Mohamed Salah, it's not the most perfect scenario, and obviously Liverpool fans would probably love to keep Salah. Like, Salah's had an unbelievable start to the season, whether it's in terms of his goal output or in terms of his creativity. Salah is absolutely phenomenal and is firing on all cylinders right now, and is only going to improve, it seems, going forward, even at his age of 31, I believe. But I don't know. Like, I feel like the Saudi thing is coming, and I feel like Liverpool obviously have a big question to answer at the end of the season. They'll have a big problem as to whether or not to cash in on Mohamed Salah at the end of the season, when he only has a year left on his contract, maybe sign him to another 1 or 2 year contract extension, or whether to run down his contract and release him on a free transfer next season. I think for what Salah's obviously done for the club, the way that obviously Salah's gone about being such a Liverpool legend during his time at Anfield, he will obviously need to make a decision before the end of the season whether or not that he'll go or not, so that Liverpool fans can probably give him the proper send-off that he deserves. But we'll have to wait and see on that. We'll obviously have to wait and see. I think a lot does depend on Liverpool. I think a lot does depend on Salah. Whether he wants to leave now or not remains to be seen. And then whether or not Sane is going to be the man to come in. Look, it does seem like a good replacement in most areas, in terms of obviously knowledge of the Premier League, experience level, perfect age, versatility, how good he is on the ball, his pace, speed. All of that good stuff does seem to be a good replacement for Salah, if not quite on Salah's level. But obviously we'll have to wait and see on this. Like I say, I'm very much interested by these stories though. Very much interested, but obviously I'm not biting down too hard on what journalists are selling me. Like I say, with Musiala, there are probably going to be a lot of interested parties in signing a youngster that is 20 years of age, is already an incredible player, and will be an even more incredible player in the future years to come. As for Sane, I imagine there's probably interest in Sane as well. Now, whether or not they can obtain him for the financial side of things remains to be seen. But obviously, Liverpool are going to get a lot of money from the Mohamed Salah deal, which seems to open up the gateway for maybe a Sane transfer, which is what obviously a lot of journalists are pointing the finger at as to how and why Liverpool maybe can hit the fee that maybe Bayern Munich are going to demand, and maybe get the pay structure in place that Sane will probably demand as well. So, like I say, keep your eye on these stories. Whether or not they'll develop over time remains to be seen. But these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of these stories of Liverpool planning a double swoop for a Bayern Munich duo known as Leroy Sane and Jamal Musiala? I'd love to know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, down below in the comment section, because I'm sure it'll make for interesting and great reading. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new and want to see more content like this. Both things are always greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see and speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Take care. See you and talk to you again soon.